Hey all, this is Lee the YouTube Prepper, and I just wanted to say a big thank you. I did a video the other day on my emergency personal protective equipment for nuclear fallout to put in the car. And one of my followers, a lady who goes by Hawaii Preppers Network 808, did some phenomenal additions to my kit. And so I wanted to acknowledge her there and give a shout out to her, as well as show you a couple things to be concerned about. Number one, she came up with a beautiful idea about these booties, these slip-on booties. Got these at the paint department at Lowe's. So this is that stuff they put on their feet when the painters, so that they don't get their muddy boots and everything else all over your floors. Great idea. Cover your shoes with these. Put these in that kit. Put them in your kit. Cover your shoes, and then you can take them off when you get done. She also recommended the painter's hoodie, or hood. So there's kind of like a cotton cloth insert you can put underneath of your poncho, and that will help keep radiation, or at least radioactive dust, out of your hair. Another superior recommendation. Now, we can go a little bit further. We can make sure we get the good Kydex suits and everything else and put them on and everything. The more you have on, the more you're going to keep the radioactive dust away from you. However, there becomes another problem. The more you have on, the more it necessitates that you do the military-style two-stage decontamination. So when we go into decontamination in the military, one of the first things we do is we have on this rubberized suit that you don't want to wear, especially in the desert in Iraq, at MOP level 3 or 4, which is when you put on all your stuff and your hood and your mask and everything else, and it's 120 degrees outside, you won't survive more than about an hour or two. But anyhow, the more stuff you put on, the more stuff you have to take off. So there's this compromise between how much protection am I getting for the amount of clothing that I'm wearing. So if we have on a Kydex suit, we have to remember that outside is totally covered in dust. So if we're going to unzip it and start taking it off, how do you take it off without disturbing that dust and getting it blown all over the place? And how are you going to get your hands in and out and everything else? So that becomes part of the problem. At least with a poncho, you can grab the four corners, lift it up, put them together, and then kind of just lift it over your head so that all that radioactive dust gets contained in that crease. And then you can lift it up off your head, and you don't have any dust falling onto you as you're removing it. But the other way, you'd probably have to go through a two-stage where you're first going to have to hose down, rinse off all of the dust off of your suit, then take your suit off, and then rinse down a second time. Speaking of taking stuff off, remember that these, your gloves, are contaminated with radioactive dust. So you've got radioactive dust on the outside of both of them. So how do you take them off without getting that radioactive dust on your skin? So what you want to do is you want to pinch right here, almost at the wrist with your hand. You're going to pull that down, and you're going to kind of make a little bit of a cup. Okay? See how that's going here? And so you're going to continue to pull. So now what you're doing is you're pulling the contaminated portion over itself. And you're using the inside of this glove as you're pulling it off to make a little pocket. So all that contaminated dust, radioactive dust, is inside here now. It's not exposed to your fingers at all. You're going to pull it off. Okay, once you've pulled it off, you're going to roll it up into a ball. So all that radioactive dust is now inside of this one glove. And now you're a magician. Okay, remember the magician's trick, like this? So you've got this inside here. Now you're going to take your clean hand, and you want to go inside this glove with your clean hand. And you're going to get underneath so you're never in contact with the outside of the glove. And you're going to pull this glove off from the inside. Okay? So we're going to pull it off like this with that other glove inside our hand. So that now what we're doing is we've got the dirty part of this glove on the outside holding on to that dirty part of the other glove. And once we've got that all off, then of course we can just pull this off here inside. That's the clean part. Pull it out, wad it up, and throw it away. Your skin has never come into any contact with any radioactive contaminants. So how you take this stuff off is as important, if not more so, than putting it on and using it, because you don't want to get that dust all kinds of stirred up on your skin or contaminate yourself by taking off the equipment when you go. So I just wanted to give you a real quick tip on how to take off the gloves when you got them on. Think of it the same way with the booties. You're going to reach inside this little zippered portion here, or this elastic portion. You're going to keep your fingers on the inside, never touching the outside, to pull them off, and then you're going to throw that away. So remember, every time you stir this stuff up, you're causing radioactive dust. So the last thing you're going to take off, the very last thing before you start taking off your underwear, is going to be your mask and your goggles. Okay? So with that, I wish you all a happy weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.